Hello everyone, my name's Nisha and I am the YogicAmnesiac. Please excuse it if I sound a little bit stuffy. My allergies are going crazy right now. There's pollen like no one's business in the air, so I might sound a little bit stuffy, but I'm feeling fine, so we're gonna get through this video. Today we're talking about why you probably shouldn't learn to do the splits in a week, or other things like that. There are a lot of other extreme poses that people try to learn in just a short period of time, and it's really bad for you. So I'm about to debunk all of those things that you see, all the pictures you see about loosening up your flexibility and how they can actually hurt your body rather than help you. So first off, let me just define overstretching. There's a really good chance you already know what it means, but just for the sake of clarity, I'm going to define the terms I use. I actually looked it up on Google, so I have a definition right here. Most of them are just about the same, but I'm just going to give you this first definition that Google literally gives you. So it's a verb, and it's stretch too much or make excessive demands on. So the first one is obviously when you stretch your body too much or something like that. You could also overstretch things like a rubber band, elastic, your clothing, but we're talking about in your body specifically today. And to make excessive demands on, that's also going to apply to what we're talking about today, because you could overstretch your body, overstretch your strength, or something like that. So we're covering both definitions of overstretching, which is the big reason why I wanted to define it for you. So stretching your body slowly or making progress slowly in the long run is less likely to injure you or hurt you, even if your progress is really slow or you feel like you're not seeing much progress. If you are in this situation and you feel like you're not making progress, everything is going really slowly, you wish you were moving faster, start a journal and start journaling after every time you practice, and you'll actually be able to look back and see the progress you've made, because I promise you, you have made a progress. One big thing about learning to do extreme poses or postures in a week is that you might not even be sure you're doing it properly. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of instruction to learn how to do poses absolutely correctly. And if you're just using one source, they might not even be telling you how to do things right, what muscles should be working, or anything like that. So there's actually a good chance you could be doing it wrong, especially if you're a novice. If your posture's wrong, not only might you not be stretching properly, like if you're trying to do the splits, you might not be stretching your hamstrings and hips properly, but you might actually be hurting other parts of your body. If you're stretching your back wrong, you could be putting a lot of strain on your low back when you're just trying to learn to do the splits. If you are a novice, there's a really good chance that you haven't been trained in the poses you'll need to be doing in order to achieve these different postures that are more advanced. And if you're not trained to do them, there's an even bigger chance that you'll hurt yourself. Even if you are trained, you can still hurt yourself too. Keep that in mind. It's just that you're more likely to if you're don't have a good understanding of what's going on. So as you know, there's a lot of people out there in the world who can do the splits and they've never hurt themselves. The reason for that is that your body actually needs a break. You can practice stretching out a little bit every day, but like a weightlifter will train different parts of their body just to give their shoulders a break, their legs a break. You switch these things out so your body has time to recuperate, and if there is an injury forming, it has time to heal that injury. Giving your body a break at times also gives you a chance to check in and think, are my hips hurting or are they just sore? If you're stretching out and not building strength, your body should not feel that sore actually. So if you're feeling pain, soreness, stiffness after stretching, you're probably hurting yourself. Like I said, when you're doing postures wrong, you could hurt a different body part. You could simply be doing something and fall. I found a really great article on ABC. I'll put it in the links down below. Totally read it. It's not that long, and it's all about dancers and gymnasts who have hurt themselves trying to reach extreme postures, and one of them actually talks about how she fell down and that's how she hurt herself. There are more ways though to hurt yourself other than falling. You could just do something wrong or make a mistake and end up injuring yourself really badly. Even if you're doing everything right, you can still hurt yourself. Overstretching your joints means that your ligaments are getting too loose, and if you're not strengthening at the same time and rate that you are trying to loosen your joints will become unstable. It's kind of like when you hurt your knee and you wear a knee brace, your muscles should naturally be holding your knee like that. It's really, really, really common among dancers to develop things like dancer's hip or snapping hip syndrome just because your joints are too loose and there's not enough strength. So that's a big reason to also train strength at the same time and to do it really slowly so that you know you're not overstretching your joints. Having an unstable joint is pretty much your joint and the muscles around it are not strong enough for how flexible you are. It's really easy for people who are naturally flexible for that just to happen to them, but it could happen to anyone. That kind of injury can also build up slowly over time. So even if you've achieved the splits, if you keep training and pushing yourself, you could eventually aggravate a worse injury that started months ago, but you didn't know about it. So that's the short of it. Pretty much don't try to learn how to do any extreme poses in a week unless you're already there and you are like 2 inches away from completing it. But it's still a really good idea to take everything really slowly, take all the precautions. Do not forget to strength train in any way if you're trying to also improve your flexibility. If you see a gymnast or a dancer who's really advanced, a yoga person even, and they're doing crazy poses, they've been training for a really long time. So don't go look at them and think, I'm gonna do that in a month. It's probably not going to happen, and if it does, it's going to hurt yourself. To be entirely honest, you might even be setting yourself up for more disappointment than accomplishments if you try to achieve crazy goals like this. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be able to do a pose, but realize that it's going to take baby steps, and you should enjoy the whole process as opposed to just the outcome. This is also the reason why, like, when people post pictures of themselves doing crazy poses on the internet drives me mad. It's because people who are not trained see them and then end up wanting to do that, and it becomes more of a superficial practice as opposed to a fitness routine to actually get into shape, or mental, emotional, whatever reason that you originally had for doing something. It just becomes, I want to look like that, and that's when you really hurt yourself. Also, beyond hurting yourself, you just lose a lot of the values that you could get and the benefits you could reap from doing things like yoga or dance or gymnastics, whatever you're doing. So I'm going to leave you with this little bit of a comparison just to really bring the point home, especially if you're not really sure if you believe me or not. It's the same thing as if this is the first day you've ever weightlifted, you would not try to lift 400 pounds. You also don't want to put the stress on your body in other ways, like doing the splits. It's really the same thing. Your strength and flexibility are super connected, and you have to train them in similar ways. So take care of your body, don't be afraid of making progress that you think is really slow, and definitely just don't compare yourself to other people. There's nothing wrong with admiring someone's skill, flexibility, strength, or anything like that, but just don't try to make it your goal or anything like that unless you really want to be there and you kind of experience the whole process, not just the ending pose. I hope this kind of helped dispel some rumors and ideas, especially if you were thinking about stretching and learning to do extreme poses in a really short period of time. I really don't recommend it. I think it's a really bad and scary idea, and it just freaks me out whenever I see an article like that. I wonder how many people are going to hurt themselves seeing that. I personally have done this before. I've overstretched myself trying to achieve different things, and I don't think that's why I ended up injuring myself, but it definitely didn't feel good. I had a few days here and there where it really hurt, and I was really young. So check out that article I told you about from ABC about dancers and overstretching. I'll put it in the description below, like I said. And leave a comment if you read it, if you've ever overstretched yourself, if you have questions about how to obtain these splits or extreme poses that you're really interested in doing. I'll try to help you out down there in the comments as well. Don't forget to like this video, especially if you want to see more stuff like this in the future, and subscribe. It's the best way for YouTube to let you know if I've released any new videos.